Welcome to Reddit Stories Cookie Edition. The best cheating videos on YouTube. If you enjoy this content, be sure to subscribe and turn on notification. Now let's get into the video. I, 31M, found out my fiancée cheated during her 30th Bachelorette party, planning on leaving. Don't know how to explain all of this, basically was snooping around last night when I saw her phone ticket off. It was a message from her friends about the party. I stayed up like one of those stalkers you've seen on TV and been checking the computer, FB messages with her friends, and found out she cheated during her bachelorette party. By cheating I don't mean getting a strip tease or something, which I would be okay with. I understand it's a bachelorette party, but she actually gave a stripper a blowjob and ended up going home with another guy that night. She has this other guy added on Facebook, but the chat merely consists of "a had a good time and it was nice to meet you" convo, which dates back to the bachelorette party. I have however read the messages between her and her friends. They have a small group, found out what she'd done there. It all seems as if it was a one-time thing that happened then, but I'm a mess. I haven't slept all night and she is headed for work in an hour or so when she wakes up. It's almost 6 a.m. here. I don't know what to do. We are supposedly getting married in 3 weeks. I am thinking of simple packing all my bags after she is going to work and just leaving the flat. It's her family's flat anyway. We were planning on buying a house, having kids, grow old. I feel I want to throw all of that out the window. I am sitting here smelling like alcohol, feeling drunk and depressed. I don't know why, but I'm more of a angry depressed than sad depressed. I haven't cried since I found out about all of this. Should I confront her? Should I just get out? Should I hear her side of the story? Honestly, I want to just go and stomp her face in right now, but I don't want to do something rational. Please help. Sorry for the typos. I'm typing from my iPad and am not in a good place in my head right now. Also, I am European, not English. TL, Dear, just found out wife cheated during bachelorette party and don't know what to do. She going to wake up soon. Story 2. I'm 29 meters, wanting to leave a loving marriage of 5 years with my wife, 30F. Hi, so this is kind of odd. Essentially, I have a great life and my wife is fantastic, but when being honest with myself, if there was a magic no longer in relationship, but without the mess of actually breaking up pill, I'd take it. I just really miss having my own space. I have an issue which makes it very easy to get distracted. Own space would feel amazing. Taking solo trips, hanging out with friends, dating and meeting new people, spending more days at my mother's house helping her out, going out to parties and social events in general, even just having that motivation of loneliness to make me do more in general. While my wife doesn't really forbid me from doing things, she is quite sensitive and has anxiety about being cheated on / me leaving her, so it's always clear that she doesn't like it when I go out much or talk to other women. And something unorthodox like living separately for a few weeks / months or taking solo trips would be out of the question for her. I fully appreciate that I'm probably the unreasonable one, but I still feel the way that I do. When I do things with my wife, at least half the time I feel like I'm fulfilling an obligation instead of genuinely thinking, yes, I want to sit and watch X with my wife right now. Almost always I feel I'd rather watch it with a friend or alone so I can fully control the pacing and environment. TL, Doctor, I'm bored in my long and happy marriage and miss all the little things I used to do when I was alone. Particularly things that let me meet new people and get to know them, or things that let me avoid distractions. So, please help me. I have no idea what is the right choice. I'm generally happy and wouldn't mind staying with my wife forever, plus breaking up would be incredibly hard on both of us, but especially her. We have a great life together. On the other hand, I really deeply miss making new connections with new people. I'm just as happy taking care of myself as sleeping with my wife, even though she is beautiful and very attractive. I kind of lament the missed opportunities for personal growth and memorable events that I miss to stay home together. And we often, maybe once a week, have arguments where we're both meaner than I'm comfortable with. The topic of separation has come up once or twice, and I could really feel that it would be a catastrophic event with incredibly big ramifications in her view, which is frankly scary to me as my view is almost the opposite end of the spectrum with, hey, 5 years of happy marriage, that's pretty good. Let's end on a high note. Maybe we're both crazy. Story 3. I 26M think I'm wasting my GF 27F's time even though the relationship has made us feel less lonely. I 26M met a girl 27F online and have been chatting with her for about 2 to 3 months, and we are currently in an LDR of sorts. I wasn't physically attracted to her at the start and hoped this would improve as we spent more time and became more familiar with each other. But due to her not being my body type, time zones, and her constant to vent and be angry about everything, I decided to take a step back from the relationship and thought it best for us to remain friends. I thought it would be nice to help her out as a friend. I don't have any experience with relationships prior to this, primarily because of my disability and the self-esteem issues I faced due to this, and was really hoping to find a partner. With this in mind, I kept chatting with other girls after I broke up with her, but ran into many scammers, ghosters and gold diggers, and ended up feeling disillusioned with this while process. Meanwhile, I kept talking to her as friends, and I learned that she faced many of the similar issues I did, such as a fear of loneliness and a lack of self-confidence, and a bit of anxiety and depression, which were the main causes of her negativity. Armed with the knowledge that we're both not that different and that we could help each other and be a little less lonely at the same time, I thought we should give it another try. 4 days into this, I'm still finding myself doubting this connection, and I'm not able to shake the belief that I can and should find somebody more compatible with me. However, I'm nervous that I won't find anybody else if I go for a clean break. I hardly get any matches on the dating apps, and most are girls looking for a visa or for financial support. However, I'm not sure if continuing this relationship is a good idea, and I fear that I might potentially be wasting her time and mine, which I feel isn't fair to either of us. TL, Doctor, met a girl online and got into a relationship for the first time, but feels like we aren't as compatible as I'd hoped. Nervous to break up as I haven't had a relationship ever, and we're both sorta helping each other cope with the loneliness. Story 4. My 27F partner, 28F, has no interest in pursuing kinks with me that she has enjoyed/pursued with previous partners. We've been together for a year. When my partner and I first started dating, she explained that she was slightly into BDSM, with her being submissive, etc., and that it had featured pretty heavily in sex in previous relationships, especially with her most recent ex, who she broke up with a couple of years before we started dating. My partner has expressed no interest in pursuing that kind of thing in our sex life, though I've expressed that it's definitely something I would give a shot. To be clear, I haven't pushed at all, just said early on that if that's something she would want to try, I'm very down. When I asked about this, she said that, especially with the most recent ex, it was a toxic relationship and she was using their physical relationship to get some sort of connection or attention in the relationship, like sex was the only way to connect with her partner. That makes a lot of sense, but I mean, she also enjoyed exploring the BDSM stuff in its own right, so I sort of think to myself, what's different about me that makes her not interested in that at all? And I realize it could just be the mental association of that kind of sex with that toxic relationship, but then she said that when she watches porn now, which is rarely, it's rough/BDSM stuff. Also, when we first started dating, she described herself as having a high libido and masturbating once a day, but I would describe our sex as on the average to low frequency. We tend to see each other only on the weekends, and will generally have sex anywhere from once every 2 weeks, to twice a week. I consider myself to have a slightly low libido, but I find myself interested in having sex more often than she is. She said that her previous self-description was from a time when she felt she had something to prove sexually, and that the way she is in our relationship is closer to her natural state. That makes some sense to me, but in previous relationships, she has described doing a lot of sexting in prior situations, again, relying on the sexual aspect of the relationship to connect. We don't do this at all, really. I recently offered to send a photo while she was on vacation, but she essentially asked me not to send it. I would say I'm definitely physically satisfied in this relationship, I just sometimes get in a weird way mentally about this. I can't tell if I'm being dumb and this is something I should just learn to get over, or if there is something to worry about here. TL Doctor, partner has no interest in engaging in types of sex she's enjoyed/pursued with previous partners, and I recognize a little bit of weird jealousy in me about it. Trying to figure out how to approach this mentally.